BadgerLink is Wisconsin's online library, providing Wisconsin residents with a collection of licensed, trustworthy databases and online resources from 6 content providers. Today, I will be providing an overview of BadgerLink resources by 4 K-12 subject areas: English Language Arts, History, Social Studies, and Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics, or STEM as it is often referred to. All BadgerLink resources are paid for with state funding, so are accessible to be used by all Wisconsin residents. You can view all the resources available on the BadgerLink website at badgerlink.dpi.wi.gov. From the homepage, you can select the All Resources page at the top to view all 60+ resources. You can send your students and educators to the BadgerLink website to access these resources, but we know you can provide context and share these resources better than we can with the static website. So we highly encourage you to share direct links to these resources via your web pages on your own library and district websites. To do that, head to the For Library Staff page. Also at the top in the blue bar next to the Resources page. And under Getting Started section, you will find a direct resource links sheet to select all the BadgerLink resources you wish to share with your students and educators. You can also integrate these resources into your learning management systems, library management systems, or single sign-ons like ClassLink or Clever. In order to do that, if you would like to add BadgerLink resources to a single sign-on, for instance, please reach out to us using our Contact Us form, seen here from the For Library Staff page, or email badgerlink@dpi.wi.gov. The BadgerLink website has the entire collection of 60+ resources to find and use, again, under the All Resources page or on the direct resource URL sheet. But does this mean you have to share all the BadgerLink resources with your K-12 students? No. Some resources in the BadgerLink collection are not intended or the best option for our K-12 students. BadgerLink is a collection meant for all Wisconsin residents over their entire lifetime, so some resources will apply better than others depending on that person's age and research need. We also know that 60 resources can be an overwhelming number for you, your students, and educators, so we created resource guides to narrow the collection down to the most applicable, best bet resources for each subject area. There are 4 K-12 subject area resource guides, one for ELA, one for National History Day, one for Social Studies, and one for STEM. All 4 are available on the For Library Staff page under the Resource Guides section. This section also has quite a few other resource guides that have been created for the same purpose, but other audiences of BadgerLink users. So I encourage you to check them all out as some apply to you as a librarian or an educator. The K-12 subject area resource guides were developed to be shared however works best for you. So whether that is printing this as a handout or posting this guide on your website or using it as a selection tool when putting those direct links to resources on your own website. Each subject area resource guide lists a handful of the most applicable BadgerLink resources depending on that subject. The English Language Arts Resource Guide lists 8 resources: Teaching Books, Explora, Britannica School, Novelist, Novelist K-8, Literary Reference Center Plus, Humanities International Complete, and Poetry and Short Story Reference Center. These 8 resources are the most used by students in all grades when doing research in English Language Arts subject area. Each resource has a different interface, as you can see on the right side of the slide. So it provides students with different research content and information. These resources are also made by 3 different content providers, so that also factors in when considering their different look and feel to searching and the information you will find in each one. The first resource is by content provider Teaching Books, which is also the name of this resource. This resource is an engaging collection of resources that brings books to life. You will find all kinds of content to support teaching and learning about children's and young adult fiction and nonfiction books and their authors. You can create book lists, discover teaching ideas, watch recordings with authors and illustrators talking about their books, as seen here in this video book reading narrated by Jason Reynolds, as well as find out why an author wrote the book that they did. There are also ways to share the materials in teaching books with your students and families, like bookmarks, flyers, labels, or shelf talkers, as seen here. The next resource I'm going to highlight on the ELA guide is from content provider Britannica Education, or Encyclopedia Britannica, as they are commonly referred to. Britannica School is the main resource offering from Britannica Education, and this resource contains articles, biographies, images, and video, as well as maps from Encyclopedia Britannica content. It's broken out into grade levels, as you can see here on the homepage. I will go into detail now with the elementary level, but please note that for middle and high school levels, know that the encyclopedia content, the tools, and the features are available in all, but the text complexity and the amount of information will vary by that grade level. Upon entering a level, and as I said in this example, it's Britannica School Elementary, users can view a vibrant homepage within the news features and browsable searches available for articles, biographies, and images. Each article in Britannica School has a full tools menu to save an article within the resource, print, email, and cite, as well as translate the article text into over 100 languages using Google Translate. Users of this resource can also have the articles read aloud to them, and they can double click on any word within the article for a quick click dictionary with definitions, pronunciations, and Spanish translation. They can also switch between two reading levels. So the rest of the resources found on the ELA guide are provided by content provider EBSCO. We will start with resources Explora for elementary and Explora for middle and high schools, both of which are listed on the ELA guide. Explora is a search interface of EBSCO resources searching across more than one EBSCO resource based on the level of Explora chosen. Explora for elementary schools searches American Heritage Children's Dictionary, Funk and Wagnall's New World Encyclopedia, and primary search. Explora for middle and high schools searches across 12 different EBSCO databases, including many of the specialized databases found on the subject area guides and that we will be going over in more detail today. Students are able to browse by topics from the homepage of this resource, as well as popular timely subjects. When viewing the full text of an article in Explora, similar to Britannica resources, a full suite of tools is available, including citation and saving tools. Each magazine article also lists the Lexile reading level indicator. Novelist is the next resource on the English Language Arts Resource Guide. Novelist is a fiction reading recommendation resource with read-alikes and book reviews of titles. Novelist contains titles for all ages, so for younger readers, we recommend showing and using Novelist K-8. Novelist K-8 provides the content of Novelist, but just for younger readers with the adult titles and themes removed. In both Novelist and Novelist K-8, students can search for books by keyword or terms of appeal like style and mood. You do want to make sure in both Novelist and Novelist K-8 that you are selecting the correct age range for moods and reading lists displayed, as they may default to older age ranges. Literary Reference Center Plus contains a collection of literary criticism and reference works. Within this resource, students can find more than 160,000 classic and contemporary poems, 37,000 classic and contemporary short stories, 8,000 classic novels, 36,000 plot summaries, synopses, and work overviews, and more than 86,000 articles and essays of literary criticism. This resource also has a nice browsable interface with featured works, collections, and authors. In a very similar interface look, Poetry and Short Story Reference Center contains full-text classic and contemporary poems, short stories, biographies, essays, lesson plans, and learning guides. This resource has more than 370,000 full-text poems, again, both classic and contemporary, more than 56,000 full-text short stories, both classic and contemporary, more than 4,000 full-text dramatic works, and more than 2,600 audio recordings of poets reading their own works from the Academy of American Poets. Humanities International Complete contains nearly 1,200 full-text journals. This resource has content for students, researchers, and educators interested in all types of the humanities, with worldwide content pertaining to literary, scholarly, and creative thought. So these resources make up the English Language Arts Resource Guide and provide, we hope, a great collection of resources from BadgerLink for your students in an ELA classroom. The National History Day Resource Guide has 7 resources listed on it. We've already highlighted Britannica School and Explora, so I will only talk about the resources that we have not yet discussed. History Reference Center is a full-text history reference resource with books, magazines, historical documents, biographies, and multimedia. Students can find nearly 57,000 historical documents and 40,000 historical photos and maps, and more than 1,900 full-text reference books. Many full-text articles list the reading level indicator, or the lexile, found in the detailed record of the article. The 3 resources listed on the right side of the National History Day Resource Guide are newspaper resources available in the BadgerLink collection. Newspapers can be a great format for students of all grade levels to incorporate into their research projects, whether primary sources are required or not. The first newspaper resource listed is Archive of Wisconsin Newspapers. This resource provides cover-to-cover newspaper content for over 200 Wisconsin newspapers from 2005 to 60 days ago, plus another 40 newspapers from the 1800s and 1900s. The Wisconsin newspaper publications available in this resource are from smaller towns and cities in Wisconsin compared to bigger newspapers. This is one of the great and unique features of this resource. Students can access Archive of Wisconsin newspapers for both current and historical newspaper titles in Wisconsin, for researching Wisconsin history, or discovering historical and current events from Wisconsinites' perspective. Another historical newspaper database available in the BadgerLink collection students can use for research is newspapers.com Library Edition World Collection. This historical newspaper archive contains newspapers from the 1700s to the early 2000s, including thousands of well-known regional, state, and small local newspapers, mostly in the United States. There are over 150 Wisconsin newspaper titles available in newspapers.com as well. For the current and archival to the 1980s U.S. News Stream features national and regional sources, including the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, Washington Post, Los Angeles Times, Boston Globe, Newsday, and Chicago Tribune, as well as 26 Wisconsin titles. Finally, the National History Day Resource Guide highlights a training video on primary sources where a search within both History Reference Center and newspapers.com is shown. Feel free to share this video with your students as they embark on their National History Day project. The next subject area resource guide is Social Studies, which is extremely similar to National History Day, so I will only share that it is made up of 6 resources minus the primary sources video link. The 3 newspaper resources, Britannica School, Explora, and History Reference Center are all highlighted. The last subject area resource guide is for STEM resources. The STEM resource guide lists 5 resources for the STEM classroom on varying science subject areas. Ones we've already covered include Britannica School and Explora. There are 3 more from content provider EBSCO, Computers and Applied Sciences Complete, Greenfile, and Science Reference Center. Computers and Applied Sciences Complete is a computing, technology, and engineering full-text research database that covers the research and development spectrum of the computing and applied sciences disciplines. This resource is rather academic in content, but could help students looking for publications and articles within these areas of study or profession. Greenfile contains articles covering all aspects of human impact on the environment. This includes scholarly, government, and general interest titles. Content covers global climate change, green building, pollution, sustainable practices, renewable energy, and recycling. Key journals include agriculture, ecosystems and environment, conservation biology, forest ecology and management, International Journal of Green Energy, and Journal of Wildlife Management. Similar in look and feel to History Reference Center that we discussed with the National History Day and Social Studies resource guides, Science Reference Center has full-text science reference books, images, and periodicals. This resource contains more than 200 full-text science magazines covering subjects of biology, chemistry, earth and space science, environmental science, health and medicine, life science, mathematics, physics, scientists, and wildlife. It also includes a science image collection with more than 300,000 images, and many full-text articles list the reading level indicator or Lexile level. You will find all of these resource guides I've highlighted on the BadgerLink website on the For Library Staff page under the Resource Guides section. In very briefly highlighting these K-12 subject area resource guides today, I hope an idea for sharing and using these resources in your classroom has been sparked. Please share these resources with your students and their educators and reach out to us to share your experience, provide feedback on updates or revisions to these guides to make them more user-friendly and personalized to your district. You can contact us anytime to do so by email at badgerlink@dpi.wi.gov. Thank you for promoting and supporting BadgerLink resources in your libraries and schools.